All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Matt here, Crypto Coffee Channel. Took a little hiatus, but don't you worry, I am back after my week break, and I'm here to talk all about how you can actually make money in crypto. Okay, a lot of people are beating around the bush. They don't actually want to tell you.
This place is clean AF. And
Whoa, oops. Sorry about that. So I'm testing out a new streaming platform. I'm using OBS today. So let me know if my sound is okay in the chat. And let me know if everything is all good, because we're going to kind of do something new. Normally I use other software. But guys, there's something I got to talk about in crypto. And everybody wants to do these top 5 coins to make you a millionaire type videos. You guys probably know what my 5 are, right? I mean, let's see. I'll say it straight up. You know, it's Hex on Ethereum, Hex on PulseChain, PulseChain itself, pulsex token, and finally, the unknown coin, the big mystery coin. What's it going to be? Actually, that coin doesn't have a name yet. It's the yield farming token that's going to exist on pulsex. And I think that's going to be another amazing play for this year of 2022. But, you know, what people aren't telling you guys is that, you know, the only way to get rich in crypto is to hold for longer than a couple of weeks or months, guys. I mean, we're in a bear market right now. Prices are down. If you're not looking at this as a discount rather than, you know, oh my God, the world's going to end. Look, you got to ask yourself, like, do you think crypto is going to die? Do you think Hex and PulseChain are just going to die and they're dead forever? They're never going to launch. It's over. We can all go home. Because if you really believe that, then just get out. You know, I don't have anything to sell you. Like, I don't, you know, it's going to happen with or without you, basically. The coins are going to go on. I think they're going to be very successful in their own ecosystems, respectively. And the millionaires and the real wealth is actually oftentimes made during bear markets. Okay, like bear markets are where people buy the dip, and when they have long-term thinking, that's actually where the wealth is made. You know, Hex was born in the bottom of a bear market, not the bottom, but around $7,000 Bitcoin was when Hex launched on December 2nd, 2019. And a lot of people were freshly burnt from the 2017 bubble, and they didn't want anything to do with crypto. They thought everything was a scam, and they missed the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of Hex, right? Well, luckily for you, you're getting a chance to get Hex again on the ground floor on PulseChain, but that's besides the point. It's history repeating itself, right? The same people that missed Hex in 2017 or 2019 are the same people that missed Bitcoin in 2015, and the same people that are going to miss Pulse and PulseX and Hex again in 2022, right? In the bear market of 2022. And this is a mild bear market, guys. We haven't even seen maximum pain yet. We haven't even been fully wrecked, I don't think. I think we have a lower down to go. Now, Hex is resistant through the bear market, as we know, because it's, number one, decorrelated from the rest of crypto. Number two, it's already 60% off its all-time highs, and the APY acts as a padding layer, you know, for you to insulate yourself from the bear market. And number three, all the hype around PulseChain gives it a higher likelihood to actually keep its value, if not appreciate, in the next coming months as PulseChain launches, rather than all the rest of these coins. But what I'm saying, guys, is if you don't hold these coins for at least a year, come on. I mean, it's not even that hard to hold something for 2 years. It'll fly by. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, okay? It's a get-rich-slow scheme in crypto. And if you're not doing this, you know, if you're not doing it this way, if you're in it for the coin of the week or the flavor of the month, you're going to have a bad time, and you're going to end up like all the people that are selling their coins right now rather than buying the right coins. I mean, now is the time to buy, and it's exciting. What is good, Every Magic here, sitting on my toilet. That's awesome to know. Pulse Man is here, Crypto Kings. Red Squirrel says, oi, oi, what's going on, everybody? What is up? I hope my sound is good, and just kind of let me know if it continues to be good or not. Again, we're trying something new here. Anyway, guys, those are my 5 coins to make you a millionaire in 2022. This is not a guarantee. This is not financial advice. This is based on fundamentals that I know about all these coins. I know about the fundamentals baked into the Hex code, or the marketing scheme, you know, world's biggest airdrop. It's not just a marketing scheme, right? It's really, we're really copying the entire system state of Ethereum onto the Pulse chain. You're going to get a copy of all your ERC20 coins for free. The cost of friction from a user experience standpoint to migrate from PulseChain, or from Ethereum to PulseChain rather, is almost nothing, right? You've got a lot of layer 1 blockchains competing right now, and you know, what is PulseChain's differentiated value? Well, part of it is cheap and fast. Very simple, guys. Less than a penny. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Pretty easy to comprehend. Maybe that's why PulseChain Telegram has double the users that the Hex Telegram channel has. It's a little bit of a simpler pitch than Hex. I mean, the pitch of Hex is a better Bitcoin, right? It's replacing a larger market, right? Better product market fit, replacing a store of value. The store of value approach has already had a precedent set when Bitcoin paved the way and landed on digital gold, even though it was intended to be peer-to-peer digital cash. It actually didn't end up being that. Landed on digital gold, and now Hex is addressing a larger market of a digital certificate of deposit. You know, if the goal of crypto is to replace all the middlemen at a bank, what's the second most popular product at a bank? It's a CD, right? There's more than $7 trillion locked up in CDs in the US and China alone. Hex addresses this market in a decentralized form with no admin keys. It's been audited 3 times. It's had 100% uptime since launch while everything fails around it. I don't understand how you can get much better of a store of value than Hex. But as a store of value, right, it's worthless if it has no network to run on. And if it costs $50 to make a stake and $1,000 to end a stake, right? And it's worthless as a store of value without a network layer, which is going to be PulseChain, right? PulseChain is the network layer. And how does PulseChain grow in price, right? PulseChain grows via network effects, meaning the more people that use PulseChain, regardless of how scammy or not scammy their projects are, the more usage and the more adoption that PulseChain gets, the higher the price goes, because Pulse, PLS token, is the gateway drug that people need to buy. Let me say hi to the chat here. Crypto Kings, what's up, dude? Good to see you. LFG, Spike, good to see you too. Let's see, Lamon Ortega, says I've got paper hands. Damn, that's very sad. I'm sorry about your paper hands, sir. Hexographer said, can someone type the 5 coins he mentioned? I'm a bit late here. Well, it's pretty simple. It's Hex on Ethereum, Hex on PulseChain, PLS, PLSX, and mystery incentive LP reward token coin. And I don't actually believe in that coin super long term, guys, but I think there will be a frenzy to get that LP reward token coin early on, because there's going to be, we're going to call them liquidity locusts, for example. If people are incentivized to get a shiny new object, whether or not it has much actual use case in crypto, people are typically attracted to it for a short term. And so I think the LP reward token, when it hits the market, will unlock yield farming on pulsex.com. And it's going to attract a lot of shiny object syndrome type people, you know, to go provide liquidity and earn this coin. So I'm looking at this LP reward token as a very short-term play, whereas all these other coins are clearly long-term plays, and again, buying in the bear market of multi-year coins. I mean, I think these coins are going to last decades. I think they're going to outlive me and you. It's generally a good idea to buy coins in the bottom of a bear market when prices are cheap, as long as you don't think that the coin is literally just going to die forever and go away forever. Bitcoin has done this. We're coming into the 5th cycle, the 5th macro cycle on crypto right now. Bitcoin has done this 4 times, and it's about to probably do it a 5th time. Again, if you agree that Bitcoin's not going to die forever. However, Bitcoin's not going to make you the life-changing wealth anymore that a lot of these coins probably have the ability to do. You know, you're lucky if you get a 2x in Bitcoin. And it takes so much more money to pump into the system now that it's been infiltrated by institutions and all these, basically it's been corrupted by the middlemen, the very middlemen that it aimed to replace, have now scooped up all the Bitcoin, and they're the ones selling it to you. The new banks, the FTXs, the Coinbases, these new centralized companies are offering you fake Bitcoin, like Robinhood, for example. It's just a says it's not actually Bitcoin. And so, you know, these people have scooped it all up, and it's not the retail-friendly game that it used to be, right? It's an institutions game and rich people billionaire game. You know, the Elon Musk, the world's richest guy, already bought Bitcoin. How many rich guys are left to buy up the price? You've got Bitcoin maximalists over here. They're like praising Michael Saylor and people like this because they're the only people rich enough to buy up the price of the bags that they hold. So it's kind of sad. They're basically kneeling down to the middlemen and institutions that they were supposed to replace, right? Because it was supposed to be a grassroots organic movement, and it was for a while. But now all the Bitcoin maximalists are saying, oh, please, Michael Saylor, buy more Bitcoin. You're so awesome. Pump my bag. Meanwhile, we've got our own thing going on over here, our fresh, new, vertically integrated ecosystem with Hex, PulseChain, and the whole thing. Hex is like a better Bitcoin. PulseChain is like a better Ethereum. Totally vertically integrated, decorrelated from the rest of crypto due to our liquidity bonding being primarily US dollar in the bear market. Hey, Chaotic Creations, good to see you in the chat there. Good to see you live. Hey, yeah, click the like and subscribe. Thank you, Sandy. Crypto Kings wants to know, what's your prediction of the price performance of these top 5 crypto coins? Which will outperform which? Everybody wants to know. Good question, Crypto Kings. Basically, I look at Pulse and Hex being neck and neck for top performers of 2022. I look at Pulse doing an easy 600x in 2 years, being conservative, right? I like to actually, this is actually a conservative guess in crypto. It sounds ridiculous. You say 600x to anybody on Wall Street or traditional finance, and it sounds like too good to be true, right? I think that's conservative for PulseChain, and I would like to see that for Hex too. I think it can, because I think the fundamentals are only just getting started. And we're going to start to see companies like with these fiat on-ramps and with these hedge funds and things going on behind the scenes are going to continue to pump the price of Hex. It's going to be neck and neck, Hex versus PulseChain. I think coming in third will be PulseX. I don't think PulseX will pump as hard right off the bat, and that's just because I think it might take some time for volume to pick up. And the price of PulseX is heavily weighted on the volume that pulsex.com does as a platform because of the buy and burn function. Then I would say Hex on Ethereum. I think there's going to be a sell-off of eHex, but I still think it's going to perform well because once it reaches the lockstep parity with Hex on PulseChain, and once those two coins are correlated via their liquidity pairs, we can start to see them both go up together. And then in last place, I think is going to be the incentive reward token. And although I do look at it as a good short-term play to basically, right now I'm looking at it as a way to sell and funnel more money back into Hex and PulseChain, right? I would say I'm probably going to use any gains I make from this potential LP reward token. It's probably going back into Hex and PulseChain, which are the two kind of golden geese that I do not want to get rid of. Let's see. Chaotic Creation said it's a rich man's collectible. There you go. It's a good way to put it. Nathan wants to know, did I know that Richard Hart called the Bitcoin top on the day? No, Richard doesn't usually talk about that, you know? I've never heard him say that before. Lol. Crypto Coffee makes me so bullish. I'm glad I make you bullish. User 123412345. Good screen name. Will you miss out on life-changing gains if you didn't sacrifice in Pulse or PulseX, or if you buy at launch? Is that fine? Alex Sutton wants to know. Yeah, man. I think if you missed out on the sacrifice phases, patience is really going to be a virtue here, guys. Patience is really going to be a virtue because I think there's going to be a dip in all these coins when they hit the market. I'm not going to lie about that. People think it's going to just be straight up from day one. No, I don't think so, guys. I don't think it's that easy, right? There's generally, when coins hit the market, they sell off because some percentage of the people that invested early on are not long-term thinkers. Now, one of the benefits you have in the PulseChain sacrifice phase and the PulseX sacrifice phase is that they were sold to retail, essentially. So you don't have vulture capital, or ventures rather, that bought a whole bunch early that are going to dump on your head as soon as it hits the market. But you do have a lot of plebs. But even 1,000 plebs don't make the list. Okay, so many plebs selling off early, which I think will create a dump in the first 30 to 60 days. Again, just a price prediction, no crystal ball, all that stuff. You know, I don't know what the price is going to do, but looking at the only logic I'm basing that off of is what Ethereum did when it hit the market and what Uniswap did when it hit the market. They both hit a low about 47 days after they launched, relative to Bitcoin and relative to USD. I think it's reasonable to say that PLS and PLSX may do the same. So again, if you didn't get in, going back to the question, if you didn't get in the sacrifice phases, don't fret, you know, chill out, wait for the dip, and maybe buy the dip, you know, maybe, just a thought. Hey, thank you for the tip, Carlos Rocha from Canada. I sacrificed for both PLS and PLSX. It sucks that I missed the Hex train. We'll talk about that. Depending on how Pulse does, I will get into Hex 2. Cheers. So, yeah, missing the Hex train, right? Yeah, I don't think anybody missed the Hex train, right? I think Hex has another 10,000x left to go in the next 4 or 5 years, right? Like I said, it's get rich slow, okay? Same with Pulse, it's get rich slow. But I mean, it's still 2 to 5 years rather than 40 years of a 9 to 5 job, you know? So you're getting Hex in day one on the Pulse chain network. And there's gonna be plays that you can make now by buying Hex now. And positioning yourself to, you know, basically ratio trade in the early days. If you see the Hex PLS ratios going in your favor, you know, you can swap in and out of Hex and PLS without ever having to go sell into dollars, and you might be able to increase your bags of both to your desired levels by making that play now. And you know, when coins start from zero, they generally shoot up in value. There's probably going to be an overshoot and then an undershoot, and then they're going to kind of flatline and you know, stabilize at some price. But if you get Hex now, the general consensus theory right now is that the sum of the two hexes, the E-hex and the P-hex, after the fork, will be greater than the price of Hex before the fork. So it's almost like you're almost getting a dividend on your Hex by having 2 copies of the coin, right? So that's one really bullish thing. On top of all the applications coming, Staker app V2 is going to unlock so many new users. It's insane. It's going to be like the Robin Hood of crypto. Staker app V2, you've got fiat on-ramps, you've got self-funded marketing campaigns. The Daytona 500, Hex is going to be in the Daytona 500. It's going to have its own NASCAR car in the Daytona 500. And 4.83 million people, I guess, watch the Daytona 500. Okay, that's a lot of people, okay? And it's going to be a bright pink and yellow car with hex.com plastered all over it. It's going to get eyeballs, guys. It's going to start to go mainstream. You know, what if one day we had a Hex hedge fund? What if I told you this is an idea that people might or might not be working on? You know, it's like, well, what if you have a company that takes investor money to buy up the price of Hex and then sell a derivative product of Hex on Wall Street without having to sell the underlying Hex, right? It's a company that, like, similar to Grayscale, what Grayscale did for Bitcoin was it created a big run-up in Bitcoin. Now, Grayscale is also contributing to the massive decline of Bitcoin. It basically amplifies the moves up and down of Bitcoin. However, it was good on the way up, you know? So the whole hedge fund thing, I'm not saying that's going to be great, you know, in every aspect, but it will be great for the next bull run of Hex, which could happen any month now, any week now, even. And when that happens, I think it's going to amplify the move upwards, but it will also amplify the move downwards as well. But we're talking about problems that are 4 or 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Like more macro conditions. Let's see. Fizzy Monk said, love you, Matt. Still miss the headband, bro. Oh, I got something for you, Fizzy Monk. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Get the Hex headband on there. There we go. Oh shit, it's kind of sticking through. How's that look? Not great. Not too great, but hey, my hair is going crazy on this thing. All right, what else do we got? Nice plant, sweet plant. Oh, thanks, guys. Little plant back here, yeah. Yeah, guys, when you're all Hex and PulseChain millionaires, maybe you too can afford a plant like this. How great is that? But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm bullish on these 5 coins. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A lot of people are looking at coins and trends in the crypto space, like, for example, crypto gaming. I'm sorry, I got to take this off. Crypto gaming is a big one. NFTs are a big one. Hex is basically the king of the DeFi pillar. Okay, they're like pillars of crypto. And you've got NFTs over here. You've got gaming and Axie Infinity and stuff over there. That's great. I'm not an expert in those, and those might have their time to pump or whatever, but these core foundational DeFi applications, the digital CD, the world's first, world's largest airdrop, better version of Ethereum. These are the things you want to be paying attention to because they're going to be foundational layers. I mean, think of all the new NFT platforms, all the clones of OpenSea, all the clones of Rarible that are coming to PulseChain. They're going to drive all that much more attention because you'll actually be able to run these applications on PulseChain and not be priced out of them like you are today. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to play Axie Infinity or anything, but it's basically a pay-to-play game, and I don't really feel like paying, a couple $100s in gas fees to play a stupid game that might or might not even be popular in a couple of years. You know what I mean? So there's all kinds of different, different silos you can go to within crypto. I just like what's tried and true. I like stuff that there's been a precedent set for. You know what I mean? We know that crypto as a store of value works very well. Bitcoin did it. It did it very well. It settled on store of value at digital gold. Hex is a digital CD. It's the next logical step in the evolution of decentralized finance. No middlemen, triple audited, all that stuff. What else we got here? Turd Bucket. Turd Bucket says, I pray to the Richards for plant. Yes, if you pray to Richard Hart every day and you say, if you go to the bathroom, turn the lights off and say Richard Hart in the mirror 3 times, he'll come knocking at your front door and he'll give you one of these plants. Chris Side Effects says, what up guys? EIS said, what did Richard bid on? Your guess? I don't know what that means. Some other person is talking about Theta and Axie Infinity. See, I don't know about these games, guys. I can't promise that they're going to do well after the bear market. You know what I mean? Like, their use case, a lot of these coins' use case is valid, right? It's a valid use case, but it doesn't mean that they were programmed to pump, or it doesn't mean that they were designed with price appreciation in mind, necessarily, right? Now, yeah, sure, a lot of these things will grow in price as more users use them, but they weren't specifically designed with the intention to go up in value. All right. Turd Bucket says, I am poop. Very insightful comment, Turd Bucket. David says, hopefully PLS hits a big low so I can load up. Yeah, see, I think that's kind of what I'm telling my friends that missed out on PLS. It's like, don't make any crazy moves right away. Wait for a dip and buy a dip if it happens, because if you sacrifice now, first of all, that's a terrible idea. Do not sacrifice now. Otherwise, if you want to make some plays on day 1 and 2, you can try that. You can try making a play for a ratio trade in the early days using, let's say, 0.0001 as a potential USD price value for PLS, and you could plug that in. But there's no promise that that's going to work. Right, guys? You might end up getting a very bad deal and basically kind of screwing yourself over. So, yeah, it's not that great. We got Lou here. You guys want to say hi to Lou? Come here, Lou. Come here, boy. Say hi. Okay, he's gone. He won't leave me alone. Coffee's barber, fire him. I do need a haircut. Yeah, very fair. Crypto, Jichi. I definitely need a shave and a haircut. Any questions for me, guys? I wanted to run that by you really quick. The concept of longer-term vision, longer-term mindset, buying core foundational cryptos that actually were designed to last longer than one cycle. And I just want to remind you guys, too, that this is only one cycle. 3 of the 5 cycles. But I've seen it enough times to know that crypto doesn't die, okay? It's kind of bleak right now. It's kind of boring. These are the times where good investment decisions can be made if you play it right. Hold on a second, guys. Lou won't leave me alone, so I might have to end this stream a little early. It's Archie wants to know, is it a sheepdog? It's an Australian Shepherd, yeah. It's the new Doge. We can use them as the symbol for our own cryptocurrency. You want to be on a crypto, Lou? How does that sound? Any questions in the chat? What do you think is the best coin to hold for Buying PLS for noobs that missed the sack. That sounds weird. Noobs that missed the sack. I think the best coin to hold, I mean, you know my answer is going to be Hex, right? Like, look at my shirt. You want to expose yourself to the most opportunity. Opportunity is kind of like surface area, right? You want to have more of it to open yourself up to more possibilities when these things actually exist, when they launch, right? So the only thing that exists right now, well, you can get PLSX, sure, but if you're going to try to do the PLSX to PLS play, you got to remember that you're probably trying to do what 90% of the rest of people are trying to do. And when, the crowd is usually wrong. That's all I have to say about that. When everyone's thinking, oh, they're going to swap PLSX for PLS and get a good deal, well, if everybody thinks that, very few people are probably going to get a good deal, right? So I think like the best coin to hold right now is Hex. In the meantime, before the actual launch. Stop it, Lou. All right, let's see. Matthew wants to know, is crypto my full-time job? As of now, yes, it is, but I do a lot behind the scenes, so it's not just YouTube. It's stuff I can't necessarily talk about, but it's cool stuff, here and there. T. Willie says, thanks, Crypto Coffee, for your insights. Thank you, sir, for watching. Franklin State Hex says, can't miss the sack if you have it. True. If you got in, you can't miss it. Red Squirrel says, where did you get the Hex hoodie merch? Hexmerch.com? No, I printed this myself in the early days of Hex, back when there were no stores available. I just wanted one, so I printed it on, I think, Redbubble. But I don't think you're allowed to sell Hex merch because the license is fair use, but it's not open source. So something like that. But hey, I hear hexmerch.com has a lot of cool Hex merchandise. So Koala says, Aussie Shepherd Dog wants to give his predictions. All right, let's consult the almighty Lou. What do you think the price of Hex is going to be in 1 year, Lou? Bark once for $2, bark twice for $5. No barks yet. We'll have to wait and see, guys. We'll have to wait and see. David says, bro, can you fix the little tail sticking out of your headband? Yeah, that's why I took it off. COTG says, hey, Coffee, I'm lost in life. What should I do? I don't know, man. It's kind of a hard question. Just do something that's interesting. You know what I mean? I know you're probably joking, but everyone's kind of lost in life, right? We just kind of pick stuff that sounds meaningful and seems important. And, I picked trying to help make people rich and help give people the gift of financial freedom through the power of Hex, PulseChain, and cool crypto assets. That's something to do. Something to pass the time, you know what I mean? Franklin St. Hex says, Hex merch is noise. Yeah, hexmerch.com is a website that sells Hex merch. Amish Muscle says $3.37. That's your PulseChain or Hex price prediction. Cool. Archie's whimpering. Or Archie says just whimpering. Yeah, sounds like Lou's a little, he's hoping that PulseChain comes out soon. Here, go, get out, get out, get out. There we go. Takes care of that. Christopher Head says, Coffee, you are the man. Us Hexicans, thank you for your help. Thank you for watching, sir. Make the whole community case for Hex as well. The whole community behind it is like nothing I've ever seen in crypto before, guys. Literally nothing I've ever seen. We have self-funded Hex millionaires that are now funding the promotion, creating a price-positive feedback loop, a virtuous cycle of people that get rich and they just want to help other people do the same thing they did because they know it's still possible. It's going to be possible to get rich in Richard Hart products probably for the next 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of meat on the bone here for everybody. And the community is who actually helps perpetuate it, right? So I've seen more YouTubers every single day, more PulseChain YouTubers, more Hex YouTubers popping up all the time. I see people stealing the titles of my videos because they're so clickbaity that people. I saw somebody the other day just straight up like steal the title of one of my YouTube videos. Like, I was wrong about pulsex. It's like, huh, real creative. But no, we've got a good community behind us, and a lot of people are trying their best, right? So, I mean, I can't bash anybody for trying. J Kiss says, I've tried to ask this before. How do you see the effect of PHEX on staking length and its effect on T-share price? Well, I think when it's easier to buy HEX, obviously we're going to see a lot more stakes starting. I think, I actually do think the side effects of something like a Hedron, where you actually have tradable stakes, will, I mean, I know it's a very hot debate or whatever. I think it's going to end up causing more people to stake because, you know, if people want to, if people want to make a max length stake, you know, and they now have another option to sell that stake partway through the stake's completion, right? So with more options of how to stake and when you can sell your stake and creating a secondary bond market essentially, which is what these wrapped NFT stakes are going to end up making, I think more eyeballs on HEX and more attention on HEX are actually going to cause more people to stake. I think the tier price is going to ratchet up higher on PHEX, HEX on PulseChain rather, and faster than even it did on Ethereum because it's a function of people starting stakes and ending stakes too. But you know, the more shares that are minted and the more people start stakes, the higher the price is going to be because it becomes harder and harder to get them. And on the effect of staking length, like I mentioned with things like Hedron that allow you to make a max length stake and then sell it, it takes some of the time component out of the original intention of HEX stakes. But I do see that weighting the average length stake a lot higher because now people have less at stake. Sorry, no pun intended, but they have less, they don't have to put their money where their mouth is because they can go ahead and make a max length stake and then maybe, although it is a risk, right? You're not necessarily going to sell it for the same amount that you bought it for, and you're not going to be able to necessarily like flip stakes. You know, we're not all going to be flipping stakes, you know, grilling out here. Like Hedron is going to unlock a new game theory component that was basically inevitable. I mean, people have been working on wrapped stakes since Ethereum, right? They've been working on it for a while, and the contract code has existed. Firebun created it a while ago. Hedron's the first kind of public implementation that I see of it, and it's going to be interesting to see. You know, I'm not interested in wrapping my stakes personally. Like I don't care. Like it's great if people want to do it, fine. But I think the net effect will be just another game theory component, a secondary market of buying and selling stakes as NFTs. And overall, I don't see how that leads to lower adoption of HEX. Like, yeah, there's positives and negatives, but I think the positives slightly outweigh the negatives. And that's just me personally. Okay, I know a lot of people disagree with that too. Jerry wants to know, why did you predict HEX on both chains was going to reach parity quickly, then walk that prediction back? Good question, Jerry. So originally I thought that the price parity would happen due to the liquidity dynamics before I fully understood what the liquidity dynamics do. Liquidity, having a coin tightly bonded to another coin in terms of liquidity doesn't lock the prices together. It actually only locks the price movements together. So I went back on that, and now I do think that the price movements will be in parity, right? But not the prices themselves. So I still do think we'll see a sell-off in EHEX because I think you can't help it. People are going to sell off EHEX because they're going to sell it. My EHEX or anything, but some people that can't grasp the opportunity at hand are going to think that EHEX is worthless. They're not going to realize you can bridge it over into PulseChain and get, you know, yield farming token and make more money that way, and also lock up the value of your, you know, protect the value of your bag. They're not going to understand that whole half of it. So some people will sell the price of EHEX down. But once the liquidity is high enough in the HEX EHEX trading pair on pulsex.com, the prices will be different, but they'll start to move in tandem together due to Hart's law, right? Due to the fact that if PHEX goes up in value and nothing happens to EHEX, well, EHEX goes up in value because PHEX went up in value. Does that make sense? So that's the best way I can try to explain it off the cuff. I do have a whole video about Hart's law. And as my thought process and patterns evolve, I'll try to keep you guys updated as well. I don't always get it right at first. Sometimes it takes a little bit of thought before I can refine my opinion and give better information. But that's where I'm at with the whole, what I think is going to happen with the Hex EHEX pair now. It's going to be crazy to see either way. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's going to be fireworks. There's going to be a lot of attention, and I'd like that pair to be very liquid so that both of my bags can continue to maintain their value and go up together and down together. Even if, the price of one is lower than another, at least, if the price of PHEX continues to go up like it has been on Ethereum, well, then it can drag up the EHEX price along with it and just drag it along for the ride. Franklin says, are you into NFTs? Not really. I mean, they're fun, but I would never be paying the exorbitant amount of money that some people are paying, because I think the people that are paying like tens of thousands of dollars for these monkey pictures, like, cool. I understand collectibles, right? I get it. I get that there's a future for it, especially in video games and stuff, but we've had digital goods and the concept of digital ownership for a long time now. The concept of digital ownership in things is not new. I mean, you were always able to buy like Fortnite skins, for example, and other stuff like that, in video games and all that. I just don't think people should be gambling on them. I think what it is it's degenerate gambling a lot of times, covered up as interest in this new type of fine art or whatever. Like, it's not fine art, it's procedurally generated. It's cool. The way that it's made is cool. Procedurally generated things are cool. Are they $60,000 cool? No, I don't think so at all. And I think when people wake up from this kind of delusion, I think a lot of people are going to be left holding some Bored Apes or some, Beeple stuff that they paid a lot for and that's now worth very little. And I don't think a lot of these things are ever going to recover to those previous all-time highs. I think they'll be traded as a market forever, and I think people are always going to like digital goods. But I think there's going to be a lot of bag holders that are pretending that they're really into art when, ask yourself this, would you still love your NFTs if they didn't have a value associated with them? Do you actually like them for the pretty picture, or do you like them because they have an Ethereum price tag on them? You got to be honest with yourself. Chances are, yeah, they are cool pictures. Cool, yeah, great. But if if you didn't think they were going to be worth as much, or if you didn't think that you could flip them and sell them to the next guy, then you would not like them, And if you're the guy minting NFTs and selling them, great, make money on NFTs. I mean, I think NFTs tied to physical objects are a very cool idea. It's cool to say, hey, I have a very unique, one-of-a-kind collectible of, I saw Crypto Kings made a pair of Air Force Ones with Hex logos on them, and they might have an NFT associated with them. That's cool. I'd like to do that. I'd like to buy one of those, but I wouldn't like to pay 60 grand for one of those. I'd like to pay a couple $100 at most, and I just think that there's a lot of people inflating prices of them way too fast, and what goes up must come down there. That's all. That's my only thought. I know I'm probably going to piss some people off. I'm sorry. I don't think your NFT portfolio is worth as much as it's worth right now in reality. I'm sorry.